Okay, so what is the session all about? So viewers, just to brief you, we've had all the 8 wonderful artists on board with us, and they have been simply spectacular. Every weekend was better than the other, and I'm sure you all had a fantastic time as well, watching it on all Saturdays. So we have all of them with us here. Unfortunately, the sessions were so time bound that we didn't give you a chance to drop in your questions or your suggestions, comments, whatever. So here we have all of them together for you. So a small brief about what exactly the Jugalbandhi series was and how it was conceived, what got us to conceptualize this series. So as all of you would agree with me, you scroll through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anything, all you see is Insta live performances, Facebook live performances, and we've had a whole lot of them from March. All of us most clearly missed the stage, but we made the home our stage or the studio our stage, and we've been dealing with it since March. And then March, then came April, and then came May, and then it got too much for all of us to watch. And so we were like, okay, there should be something new. Dancers are not just basically performers. To perform, they create. And to create, they do a lot of research and a lot of thinking. So, and many, many years of training. So that is something we wanted to highlight and bring out. And we're very, very glad that we had all the 8 of you agreeing to be a part of this series and so graciously accepting to dance for us, especially when the song was just given 5 to 10 minutes prior to the live. Yes, I can see that smile on Meghna's face. So yeah, so that is what the session was about. And also, for those of you who have missed it, the concept here was to bring 2 dancers alongside, 2 dancers who've never worked with each other before, or who've probably not heard of each other before. So we got them to just brainstorm, create something in less than an hour's time, spontaneously, and they were fantastic. We thoroughly enjoyed the whole process, and I hope it's the same with y'all. I'm going to get to each one of y'all to share your thoughts and experience. But before that, formally, I'd like to introduce and welcome all the artists. The first Saturday kicked off, that is September 1st, kicked off with Mahati Kannan, who did Bharatanatyam for us, and Priyanka Rao, who did Bharatanatyam for us on the track ballet. The next weekend, which is 8th September, we had a fantastic Kathak presentation by Damini Bisht, who unfortunately has not been able to join us today, and Odyssey by Paridhi Joshi. Then the following Saturday, which was Independence Day, 15th August, we had Nivedha Ramalingam, who did Bharatanatyam for us, who so graciously accepted to log in at 6 p.m. IST, all the way from Canada, and Meghna, who did Odyssey for us. And the last weekend, that was 22nd, the final performance concluded in a Tilana or a Tarana, Bharatanatyam by Shruti Suresh, who again was in the States and managed to set things well and perform for us, and Shubhi Johari, who did Kathak. We're very glad to have all of you again as part of the series. And now a brief introduction about URise Vedic Sangeetha Academy, or UVSA. This is an institution 21 years old in Bangalore, registered, and we strongly believe in promoting the fine arts, both music and dance, especially amongst the youth. We have various activities and events that we do create and curate for youngsters and upcoming artists. So one of the most sought after events, that is the Dance and Music Festival at a national level, which is Tarang, is being organized by URise Vedic Sangeetha Academy. We're very glad to have Shubhi and Paridhi back with us because they danced at Tarang. I don't remember which years. And We have Bala Pratibha Utsav, which is a national level competition for children. And we are also affiliated to 2 universities, both in Calcutta and in Karnataka, through which we send students for examinations. We conduct workshops. We were very, very fortunate to kickstart this series with Padduaka, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, last year. And unfortunately, due to Corona, we couldn't do it this year. So we're so glad to have you back with us, Mahati. Yes, and that's what UBSA is all about. The founder director is Guru Machinmai, and I'm the artistic director, Anjana Ramesh, a Bharatanatyam dancer myself. So having spoken so much about the series, about the institution, now we move on to the artists. Okay, we'd like to ask you all certain questions. And okay, so first question, which I'd like to ask you all is, how did y'all understand the musicality of the piece when the song was given to you? Shall we start with September 1st, or shall we go backwards? Who'd like to take the question first?
Okay, Anjana.
Yeah, Priyanka. Hi.
I'll just give my 2 cents on what I thought of
Oh,
the
definitely.
musicality aspect. So firstly, thank you so much for bringing all of us together for this wonderful initiative. It's so nice to have a challenge thrown at you in these, unprecedented crisis that we're all in. For me, and I don't know if this resonates with Mahati, we had the song Bale play for us, right? And like I said, even in our lives, that's a very, very popular song, one that speaks of this whole, this powerful feminine energy, and because we had this video for reference. Even before we got the song, we were acquainted with the song through audio and video, and we had these images, visuals in our mind even before we started choreographing. So quite honestly speaking, that really added a lot of value to our choreography even before we began it, the visuals that are part of the video. So understanding ballet was like 70% easier because we had a video reference before even we started choreographing. So I guess that's how it kind of eased the whole process for me. Mahati?
Yeah, Mahati?
Yeah, so like Priyanka said, we were already familiar with the song, so it made the task a lot more easier for us. But I think personally, it was a challenge for me to do something of my own. I think that was the whole point of this Jugalbandhi series as well. And I'm not sure if Priyanka would, if she felt the same, but I felt like since it was such a popular song, and since we already knew that song, it was actually, and since this was a Jugalbandi series where the choreography part of it and the whole process is supposed to be transparent and right there in front of the viewers, and the viewers were also already acquainted with the song, at least most of them would have definitely been familiar with the song. So I think it was also I felt it was a sort of an added responsibility for us to not repeat, to keep the visuals of the original video in mind and maybe take inspiration from that. And like she said, take the value that it gives the song, but then try to bring our own originality into it. Try to give our own perspective on it, because the viewers know what's going to happen. They probably already have the visuals in front of their eyes when the song is playing. But I think that was it was nice to see how we could bring our 2 cents into the song to our choreography, how we could translate our thoughts and our views about the song, as well as the music part of it. And I think the song itself is such a beautiful composition. It kind of lends itself to choreography as well. And like we see in the video, it lends itself to choreography in any classical dance style. Like you see in the video where so many dancers from different styles have performed. So I think it's hats off to the music director and the person and the lyricist as well. And I think that was that was a phenomenal choice of song, Anjana. So thank you so much for that. You were actually terrified as to what song she's going to send us. She was already telling us, oh, I'm sure you're familiar with the song. And we were on one side, we were like, okay, if it's a familiar song, then fine. But then it's in a language that we're not entirely familiar with. But when she said it's a familiar song, we're like, okay, let's see how it goes. And thankfully, I hope it came out well.
Yeah, and you both kind of freaked out when I said Malayalam, but I did give you all a heads up.
Yeah, I mean,
But
the typical Jugalbandhi song would probably be, at least from what I'd expected, I thought would be a fast-paced song. When you threw us this surprise, this beautiful song that was so soothing and so relaxing, and have two different artists of two different styles perform, it was kind of like, oh my God, this is completely not what we expected. But it was like Mahati said, it's an added responsibility to not repeat what was presented in the video that was part of the visuals that were part of the video. So it was a wonderful experience.
actually, that was going to be my next question. Since I think it's just the both of you that had a popular number with, I mean, all of you had popular numbers, but it's just the both of you who had like a dance cover already done. So, did that video in any way kind of affect or mold your choreography? Preconceived notions, as in anything of that sort?
I would actually say kind of, maybe, I don't know, because I mean, for me at least, I didn't really remember the video that well. Even though I've watched it quite a few times, I didn't really remember what they did that well. But I did kind of I had a vague idea as to, yeah, I think they did this, I think they did that. But again, I tried not letting that interfere with my thought process. And I think that was again the point of this whole Jugalbandi. Also, it's not okay to put the whole choreography out there, the whole process of choreography out there, but it's also to see how, as artists, what is our thinking, what is our thought process, and what can we bring into, what can we bring to this composition, this already popular composition, like Anjana said, this already the composition that's already been danced to and that's out there. What is that something, maybe some small new addition that we as artists can make to this composition? And I also feel like I said, the lyrics themselves were so beautiful, and they kind of lent themselves to a variety of interpretations as well. So I think that's again that I feel that's another thing that made it easier for us to work with as well.
Yeah, on that note, I wanted to check with you, Paridhi, because I remember Damini mentioning from that weekend where the song was very soft and slow and subtle. You both were expecting something on those lines too, right?
Yeah, in fact, I was
So,
having
how
a
did you
conversation.
understand your piece?
I was having a conversation with Damini, and she was saying that what if we get a song in a language which both of us don't understand at all? Like, so I said, I'm sure Anjana will not give us a song which we are completely alien to as a language. But when we got the song from you, I mean, the song in itself was very peppy, and it had this uh, spark of happiness in it. And the season being monsoon, automatically, the thought that came into both our minds was that we need to correlate the song somehow, and it was a completely instrumental song. So there were no words or meanings, and it was completely open to us for interpretation. Uh, so we chose to kind of highlight the various nuances of the monsoon season, and we both really enjoyed. I mean, it was kind of it kept fitting in, every bit of the song that we moved forward with. We were very excited to kind of take it upon ourselves to figure out how to get the similarities or differences of the two dances across to the audience by showing the same things or different aspects of the season. So both me and Damini hit it off, and it was a great thing to meet another artist whom you've never met before or heard of, and get along so well and end up composing something on a piece which is given to you like 5 minutes before. So I thought it was a great concept, and I really had a lot of fun doing this.
Okay, thank you, Paridhi. Meghna, what did you probably think when you heard the song for the first time? Like, how do you actually, because you told me you work with a lot of research and stuff like that. So how did the music actually get to you? What was it? Because I remember you and Nivedha were working on the tal and were working on the beats. So is that what you both work on, or do you perceive it in a different way?
Um, so it's interesting for me to hear the other artists talk about their experiences, and I feel like we were all united in our worry with having to deal with a language we don't speak. That seems to have been something that was scaring a lot of people. So that's great that that Nivedha and I were not alone in that experience. And so when you told us it's going to be instrumental, I was like, great, I can completely, like, this is so much easier, because I think that for me at least, I think choreography happens in my head first. And it takes me a very long time to sit and think about research and understand, especially with poetry, because you can read poetry straight, but then you can also read it in layers, and you can do research on who wrote it and why did he write it, and that contributes so much to how choreography is done. And this format obviously did not lend itself to that process at all. So I had to free myself of a lot of my mechanisms as far as choreography is concerned, and it put me in a completely unfamiliar situation. So the process with which I would normally absorb musicality, we didn't have time for. So I think what I was trying to do is I was just trying to listen to it and see how my body reacts. I was happy that it was nrita. So it was okay to look at it just as a physical movement reaction to a piece of music. I know that an added challenge for me was that it did have a Carnatic feel to the music, which for an Odissi dancer is a little bit unfamiliar. But thankfully, I have worked with a lot of
Worked.
Bharatanatyam dancers in the past, some very talented dancers. And of course, Nivedha was no different. I found that Nivedha and I actually only talked once before we did this session. And I found that we were finishing each other's sentences. And like, I didn't have to like I'd say, oh, why don't we? And then she'll be like, oh yeah. And then it just like, happened, which was actually another thing I was very worried about, because I know that choreography and any creative process is so dependent on that chemistry. And I wasn't sure how that chemistry was going to work with someone that I've never met, never worked with. I've never seen her dance. She's never seen me dance,
Absolutely.
and I was worried about that a lot. But I found that she said the bowls in the Bharatanatyam style, and I had it in the Odissi style in my head, and I was like, this is great, and it's probably because of that high pressure situation that you rely more on instincts than on an academic process. And I know that for me, I've always approached things very academically, very intellectually, and that is actually a very indulgent and very long term process. So the fact that we were given this like ridiculously small timeline kind of forced us to react more organically in some sense, and it was such a privilege to work with Nivedha, because somehow we just understood each other. I really don't know how that happened, but it was great. So
But
she also
working with
made it
absolutely
very
working
easy for
with
me. So
working with your instinct,
Work
all
with
of you are like
all of you. Yeah.
God.
It's an honor
yeah.
to be amongst such great dancers. And again, thank you for having me. And yeah, I just want to add on to what Meghna said. I think like we're really put on the spot, and it's just our gut reaction to the music. And I feel that personally, I am very influenced with by music, right? So my choreographic choices are usually always inclined to what I'm listening to. So the minute that you sent the audio to us, I think me and Meghna had a couple of times to quickly just listen to it. But I wasn't, the minute I knew that you told us it's instrumental, I was like, okay, we're good. We'll be fine. And yeah, Meghna, as she said, we just naturally, even though I'm here in Canada and she's there, you're all there in India, like we were somehow, our minds were still synced. So it's amazing how dance could really connect dancers, right? Like anywhere, wherever we are, like that's how great this art form is. So yeah.
Of course, that's why they say dance is beyond all language and all barriers. Of course, thank you. And that finally brings me to Shruti and Shubhi. So Shruti, it was very beautiful to see that you both didn't approach the Tillana or the Tarana with a clear-cut Nritta Tillana aspect. rather you both, I don't know, was it like a decision taken by one of you, or both of you mutually decided to just, it's Ganesh Chaturthi, let's go all out and celebrate Ganesha? Was it like mutually this?
The thing is, as soon as I heard the music, I was okay. I've choreographed for this before, and I've heard it many times, and it was a popular track. And so I said, I want to, probably approach it differently. And the starting music, I went with the feel of the music. So it sounded like something like a prayer of sorts to me. And then that's when it hit me that, oh, it's also Ganesh Chaturthi. And then I asked Shubhi if she's, okay with trying something related to that. And she said, definitely. And she also played the Ganesh Vandana song as soon as
before, yes.
Yeah. So I think there was a connect something over there. So, and yeah, I was happy that, she also thought that we could try something on those lines. And also because it's very energetic, the music is very, it's pretty powerful. And then I think it suited the mood of the celebration of Ganesha. That's one festival where people go mad and they dance and all of that. So I think the energy of the music kind of matched the concept, I guess. So that's how I think we were able to pull it off. Yeah.
That is so lovely. Shubhi, was it the same way that you understood the music, and because the way she perceived it as a prayer was something very nice. So what did you think of the piece?
Yeah, I'll mention two things that I was thinking. So since we were concluding the series, so we had that leverage of seeing all the other people, their USPs, their choreographies. So as I was observing it through all these 3 weekends, my mental process started with the first weekend, as I should say, because I was not familiar with the music at all. जो भी बाकी लोगों को tracks मिले थे, I was not at all very familiar with them. For me, everything was new. So somewhere in the back of my head, I was mentioning it to you, that I was really, really hoping कि तिलाना type कुछ मिल जाए, कुछ तराना type मिल जाए, because that is one thing that connects Bharatanatyam and Kathak. So somewhere I was keeping my fingers crossed कि शायद तराना हो, so it will be my place to work in. एक तो ये, and second thing, I knew that 22nd was Ganesh Chaturthi since the very beginning, since the day you told me that it's 22nd, because मेरे घर में Ganesh Chaturthi is a big time festival, so we celebrated it with whole zeal and excitement. So I was again at the back of my head, I was like कि कुछ शायद गणेश से related हो जाए, क्योंकि गणेश चतुर्थी है उस दिन, तो शायद she'll send me some music which is related to Ganesha. So that also is something that I can try or do. And then when you just sent us the music, and then Shruti mentioned that can we decide something right now, and then you said no, please do it in the live session only. That very moment, I just wanted to say it to her कि कुछ गणेशा से start करते हैं, and then she said कि we can do it till the Visarjan, and for me that was like, oh my god, that is something really nice to try on. And especially if we see from a viewer's side, as an audience, जैसे ही ट्रैक सुनेगी audience, everybody will feel कि अच्छा अब तो नृत्य होने वाला है, अब तो सब dance, this is something both of them do, but then the concept actually made it really, really different. The seeing Rana in that way was very, very different. So for me, it was actually both plus situation, a win-win situation, because somewhere मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था, intuition हो रही थी that there will be something like a tarana, and then somewhere I wanted to do Ganesha, and Shruti mentioned, and then we both were like, okay, let's go for it.
So Shruti and me basically read your mind. All right, fine. Okay, so Meghna and Nivedha already shared their thoughts. How was it, we'll just do this quickly, how was it to work with Priyanka, Mahati? And you're going to keep it short, okay? Short and sweet.
It was exciting, one, because I've never worked I've never collaborated with another dancer like this before. That was actually my first time. So it was amazing, and I think it's another commonality that I see is all of us kind of gelled well with the other dancer who we were doing the Jugalbandhi with, and I think that's beautiful to see. And like you said, this only goes to show that dance or art has no barriers. It transcends all barriers, and it was wonderful to see. It was really nice to collaborate with her. It was nice to see that we had a very similar thought process, and even the kind of concepts we came up with. And it was, I think the most special part of it was that she was so open-minded, and it was really nice to interact with someone so open-minded and so receiving of ideas and suggestions, and I think that was beautiful. So yeah, thank you, Priyanka. It was truly a pleasure to collaborate with you.
She understands your ideas. Shruti understands Shubhi's ideas before she's even spoken about it. Nivedha completes Meghna's sentences. With Paridhi, of course, Mrs. Damini today because Damini is not there, but they both also worked well with the same concept. So, yeah, Priyanka, you want to say something about your...
I mean, see, artistically, Mahati is somebody that I think I'm going to say that I really admire her. Even in the last parts of the choreography, I barely danced. I was gazing at her and just like admiring and just appreciating and just being very happy to watch her dance. But there are some behind the scenes things that actually went that I can actually share that, with you all. I was very paranoid about this whole thing. Okay, I was this person insisting on a tech run and let's do this once before. And Mahati, I think the kind of artist that she is and the way she's honed herself to be, she really relaxed me and said, we're going to do this. It's going to be fine. And it just shows how much she enjoys this. And I actually consider myself somebody who's really happy while dancing, but sometimes I miss out on that, and I need reminders like this, to keep reminding me that it's all about being happy while you dance and just don't stress about these things. So yeah, and Mahati is somebody I feel we have very similar ways of thinking, and our approach to dance and our perception of dance is very similar, I think. So it was amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Lovely. All right. I'm just glad that you all enjoyed working with each other. And I made it a point to check with all of you, how was it with your dancing partner? And I'm glad that all of you did enjoy the experience. So we'll just have like a very quick rapid fire. Okay. Rapid fire in the sense itself means quick. So it's very short, only 3 rounds. Okay. And unfortunately, nobody gets anything because the entire Jugalbandhi live is over. Okay, so we'll start with, we go in the same order. So that will be Mahati, Priyanka, Damini, Paridhi, Meghna, Nivedha, and Shruti, Shubhi. Okay, so you have to pick this or that quickly. Okay, if you take longer than that, we'll just move to the next person. Okay, so Mahati. Bharatanatyam or Odissi?
Odissi.
Dance theory or practicals?
Practicals.
Practicals.
Okay. And Priyanka, Bharatanatyam or Bharatanatyam?
Bharatanatyam.
Abhinaya or Nritta?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Abhinaya or Nritta? Okay, Paridhi. Odissi or Bharatanatyam?
Odissi.
Group or solo performances?
Group.
Okay, Meghna. Bharatanatyam or Kathak?
Kathak.
Okay, research-based work or just dance movements?
Research-based work. Always.
Nivedha, Bharatanatyam or Bharatanatyam?
Bharatanatyam.
Okay, dance in India or Canada?
Dance in India.
Okay, Shruti, Bharatanatyam or Kathak?
I was on mute, sorry.
That's not fair, okay?
Sorry. Bharatanatyam.
Okay, and concept-based or music-based?
Concept-based.
Okay, Shubhi, Kathak or Odissi? Dancing a duet or going solo?
Solo.
You dance with a particular person, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Um, the first word that comes to your mind. Okay. Quickly. Mahati. Choreography.
Paduka.
Krishna.
Love.
Karanas.
Freedom.
Paduka.
Guru.
Music.
Soul satisfaction.
Okay. Priyanka. Dance as a profession. Full-time
Maybe not.
profession. Okay. Abhinaya.
Maybe not. Love.
Music.
Necessary.
Jugalbandi.
I said like necessary.
Yeah. Jugalbandi.
Oh, sorry. Fascinating.
Too much time. Okay.
Sorry,
Choreography.
there's a choreography. Paranoia.
Okay. Paridhi. Jugalbandi.
Chemistry.
Girls, first word that comes to your mind. Okay,
Chemistry.
come on. Abhinaya.
Soulful.
Group performance.
High energy.
Odyssey.
Lyrical.
Choreography.
Challenging.
Okay. All right. Meghna, we move on to you. Thematic
Oh my
works.
God. Sorry?
Thematic works.
Research.
Choreography.
Storytelling.
Music.
Soul.
Dance theory or theory in dance.
Freedom.
Youth in dance.
Necessary?
Okay. Nivedha. Choreography dance seen abroad.
Creative.
Okay. Bharatnatyam seen in Chennai.
Intense.
Margai season.
Amazing.
Having two professions.
Challenging but fun.
Okay. Shruti. Very simple. Dance.
Life.
Nritya.
Gratitude.
Ideation.
Many people. Many people inspire me. So,
Choreography.
Mayuri.
Body conditioning.
Extremely important.
I agree with you on that. Okay. Shubhi. Choreography.
Creation.
Sorry.
Creation.
Creation. Chakkars.
Oh, love.
Dance exams.
Sorry.
Dance exams.
Dance exam. Exciting.
Dance practice or riyaz.
Love.
Okay. And dance for the youth, for the youngsters of today.
I say futuristic.
Okay. All right. This is the last round, and all of you are going to use only one word. Okay. Only one word. We'll go backwards. Or I'll go in a random order. Otherwise, you'll know who's going next. You will be very prepared. Okay. You're going to describe.
Sorry, I do have to leave shortly. So
Yeah. We'll be done. We'll definitely be done in 5 minutes. Okay.
Thanks.
You're going to describe your dancing partner in one word. Okay. Shruti.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Extremely strong and
One
technical.
word.
Technically amazing. I can't say one word.
Okay. All right, fine.
Strong.
We'll add a hyphen there. All right.
Okay.
Meghna, describe Nivedha in one word.
Mind reader.
Okay. Priyanka.
Magician.
Nivedha?
Intelligent.
Paridhi?
Graceful.
Okay, Shubhi?
Very creative.
Mahati?
Wonderful.
All right, okay, fine. Okay, I just like all of you to share probably one or two sentences on what you would like to share with the youngsters as to how to get rid of their phobias. I'm sure all of us are on the same plane. All of you have, means few of you do have a lot of experience in choreography, but few of us are still getting there. So what would be your words of encouragement or suggestions to the youngsters or dancers who are trying but who are too paranoid about the whole process? Anybody can go for it.
Can I start?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Sorry. Please go ahead.
No. Please go ahead. It's okay.
No, it's just don't give in to peer pressure. I feel don't give in to peer. I feel like they need not give in to peer pressure, and just because everybody around them is choreographing something new and they're putting it up doesn't mean they have to start doing it. Things take time, and they can take their own time in doing it in choreographing. Whenever they are comfortable in doing it, then please do so. Please don't get paranoid by everybody doing it around you. It's a very personal journey. So trust your gut instinct, trust your heart, and go with the flow.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah, sure, Nivedha, definitely.
I guess, I mean, be confident in yourself. And very beautifully said by Mahati, like, don't get rushing into just because so-and-so is doing it, but be true to yourself. And I guess once you're confident enough, that things will naturally come. But the more thing is trust your own work, trust yourself, because when you have that
Anybody can
trust your work, that's going to come out and it will speak to others.
Yeah. Definitely. Absolutely. Anybody wants to add on?
Yeah, I think, introspection and probably observe and watch, many, there are so many different artists out there, there's a lot to learn from each one of them. And I feel no matter what they put up, you don't have to feel shy about it, or you don't have to think, okay, what are people going to say? And it's okay to get positive and negative feedback and then work on it. And also I feel somewhere it's important, like maybe to get some guidance from the right person, mentorship from the right person, maybe if they're like really young and what path to take. Of course they'll have their own they know themselves also how to carry forward, but I feel it's good to take advice from different people, or and then see what's best for them and work on it. And it's not always about performance, it's not just it's more like a personal journey. Like you want to dance to probably express what you're not able to through words, or not just dance with respect to anything. I think you work on yourself, and then at some point in your life you'll definitely find it. Like why you're an artist, you will know why you're an artist, and it takes years to, I think, figure that out. So it's okay, don't
Very
be
well
hard on
said.
yourself. Yeah,
Very well said. Thank you for that. Yeah, Shubhi.
Okay, I'm really excited to answer this because this is something very, very close to me. So I have this tattoo. You may not be able to read it, but I'll just tell you what this says. So I got this tattoo done at a very, very young age. I mean, of course, I was an adult, but I got it done at a very young age. And I wanted to do it because I wanted to tell everybody out in the world that why I want to work, or why I want to pursue this field. Because initially when you just pass out of school and college and complete your studies, and when you have to take this decision whether you want to go into the art field or take academics, so that was the point when I decided to do it. And my tattoo says mam nritya pratirupam asti yat ko asmi aham. My dance is an extension of myself. It is who I am. So to show out to the world that who you are, you have to create and show it and just do it. You know, when you just do it instinctively, which was another very major part of doing this Jugalbandhi series, because as soon as you hear the music, as soon as you know that you are working with somebody new you don't know, it was very instinctive and very organic, as Meghna mentioned. So I think just do it, just show out to the world who you are. You don't really have to give an explanation. So just give your
Absolutely.
thoughts out.
So beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you so much. Uh, yeah,
Sorry.
Nivedha has to,
Yeah.
Nivedha and Mahati have to leave. So I think we will wrap up the session. I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out to be here again with us. And we really, really enjoyed the session. I enjoyed the session and I hope you all did. So, and thank you to all the people who are watching us and all other people in UVSA who've been working for the series. So thank you all. Thank you, Shubhi. Thank you, Mahati. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you,
Hey.
Priyanka. Thanks, Meghna. Thanks, Paridhi. All right.
Thank you, Anjana.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for putting this up together. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was wonderful. Thank you.